Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I have some more stuff to tell you guys. My opinion on things. Some people don't like my opinions, but that's okay. Some people will. Okay, this video is God is raising an army. I have seen some Christians, brace yourself, we're in for a fight. Well, there's all approaches. There's all kinds of approaches. Bracing yourself for the worst is an approach. I was a nursing student, and I remember one time I was bounced out of school with my 97.6%. And one of the teachers, if they don't like the way you part your hair, I thought, well, hell, this is the way I part my hair. This was the question, why do you want to be a nurse? And I looked at her and I said, I believe God is raising an army. And I planned on being a nurse. Wrong question. I was expelled. Yes, I was expelled. And they had a lot of reasons why. And so what I think now is my efforts are maybe used elsewhere, but I would like to ask all the nurses and doctors out there, do you feel you are in a battle, that you are in an army battling the COVID? Because I think so. The policemen, are you in a battle? Okay, so now, if you're in a battle, you guys heard the Christian song, who's on the Lord's side who? You have one side, you have the other side. Does that sound like a battle? If you are in a battle, if you are in an army, one of the things you want to do is you want to prepare for attacks. You want to be aware that you possibly have enemies that are moving around causing trouble. In 9/11, it was easy to identify the enemy. So we have to prepare for a battle, and we have to prepare for attacks if we're in a battle. If we have no awareness that we're even in a battle, then it's going to be very easy to defeat us. I don't think so. First thing to prepare for your battle is you want to strengthen your army. Okay, each family could be viewed as an army. Okay, my husband was in the Vietnam War, and when I was young, everyone was basically in the Vietnam War. So you want to prepare and strengthen your army. One of the things you need is food, because you cannot survive without food and water. You cannot survive without water, and you cannot fight any kind of battle without a weapon. And I made a list of some weapons. What did I do with that? Maybe I can find this. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. All right. How about a pick, an axe, a hammer, a shovel, a baseball bat, and pool balls? How about the temple? How about the heart? Remember, the heart is on your right-handed, that's their left. The problem with these weapons is you have to get close enough to the person. Then we have, which would be brutal, but if somebody attacks you. Okay, you have to be mentally resolute that your enemies are not going to prevail, that failure is not an option. I mean, imagine like when my ex-husband was in the war, if the infantry thought failure was an option, because it wasn't, because if you fail, you weren't coming back home. Failure is not an option here either. Now back up here to the water and food. Okay, one of my boyfriends was a storekeeper, and you go, well, that's a lowly job. Really? Because he had to pretty much be a mercenary to protect the food. That's how valuable your food was. So that's why I'm always hammering on food storage. It doesn't have to be expensive. Also, you know, I have followers all over the world. You do not have to be a Christian to be a good person. And another thing, if you can store big bags of rice and grains, I think that would be the way to go if you don't have much money. Now, in America, we want to protect our money and protect our resources, all of them. Whatever money and resources we have at this time, we want to make sure that we hang on to all of it. Okay, so now we want to be watchful for our enemies. You know, enemies, what enemies? Okay, what we're going to look for is indirect attacks. What we're going to look for is people who come into an area and indirectly attack someone by infecting them with a COVID. Now, how could this be done? Well, if you were in a protest, people could move in and infect large groups of people with the COVID very easily. That could be any group. That could be a cluster of 3 or 4 people. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about things we know. Okay, speaking of God is raising up an army, how about at the beginning of the COVID when there was no protective gear? And where do we get that protective gear? Well, it just so happened we got it from the same place we got the COVID. No protective gear. Yes. How about these fires in California? Do I think that these are natural occurrences? No, I do not. I believe they are set, and I believe they were arson attacks. Okay, how about this brain-eating amoeba in the Gulf of Mexico? Did these amoeba just show up? No. I believe that was an attack on the water. Okay, how about these killer hornets that showed up where we need our bees for our crops? Do I think they just showed up? No. How about the weird seeds? No. So we're going to be watchful for various attacks, usually indirect. That way, well, we don't know. It just happened. No, it didn't. These are attacks. One of the things we have to watch out for until the end of the year is people moving into our areas that are up to no good. Well, like what kind of up to no good? Well, destroying our businesses, destroying our food markets, tearing up our communities. I do not believe these were just, God-fearing citizens that showed up to protest and it went awry. I believe these were networks. Another thing is this, there's no Antifa. Okay, then what was it? The cartel? What was it then? Okay, now, the main thing we don't want to do is let someone, anyone, infect us with the COVID. Now, how would they do that? They would get close enough to us to infect us. They would be moving in on us when we were in clusters, preferably in, anywhere they could to infect us with the corona, knowing we're going to take it home and give it to the whole blasted family, knowing that you're going to infect the whole classroom of kids. So what we're going to do is we're not going to let anyone, like this dim-witted girl that when she saw me, she pulled her mask down. I go, okay, that's enough of you. That's not just enough of her for today. That's enough of her. Okay. prepare to relocate if necessary. So we want to prepare if we're in a battle. If there is this thing is called retreat, it's not that we're losing the battle, it's that we're getting out of an unsafe area if necessary. So we're preparing to relocate. We're not going to sit there and get ourselves killed or injured. That is not smart. I think it's very important to support law enforcement. Who do you think is supposed to come and help you if something goes wrong? Hello, Antifa? Could you please send some of those looters over here now? Someone's trying to get into my house. I am stupid. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Okay, now, so you have to, preparing for evacuation is not easy, especially if you plan on taking your food, because how can you survive without your food? Especially if, out here I've been seeing a lot of people buying tents. I go, I am not staying in a tent. Why would I? My car runs good. I would stay in my car. Okay, accept that people will be lost. Okay, if you see these people, like the girl that I saw and like the old man with his mask down, you have to accept that people are going to be lost. If they don't want to listen up, they will be lost. They will die. The COVID is supposed to be a deadly second wave. So these are just a few things. You have to realize that this is not, okay, this thing with the president and his wife getting the COVID and hitting Washington is an attack. Well, one thing we know is they weren't bought off by China. That we know. It looks to me that it was looking to try and kill them, actually. So it's a very dangerous time, and what we have to do is be aware that we're in for the fight. We're in for a fight. Who knows what's going to happen come Monday. So, okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.